Hello YouTubers. Well, I'm out over here now finally at my commercial logging site here. Been busy here opening trails and roads and got a couple of landings open here. Just kind of give you a snapshot here of what I do in my area, or how this was traditionally done. Logging practices here now have changed like everywhere else. Everything's become very mechanized and cut the length type of thing in the bush, and this is still cutting and pulling tree lengths to landing, and then either have a log loader slasher that bucks it on the landing, or some of us still, like me, we still cut our wood or bucket on the landing by hand yet. So, well, I mean with chainsaws by hand, but you know what I mean. Anyways, got all the brush cleaned here off this what's going to be here a log pile landing. Got a few stumps in here to nip off here from past logging from years ago, and then a few trees are in the way here, like one in front of the skidder there, another one over there, and another one there. Make room so we can pull skids in without getting tangled up, and it's merchantable wood. It's just going for OSB chipping. It's not be very little log form, or any log form. It's too punky or rotten inside. This is what our wood looks like here when it hits maturity. We don't get a whole lot of huge timber, but it's fairly thick, and like this stuff in here, this is typical here of what we cut in our area for white poplar. We got some jack pine mixed in with it here and there. That's typical for the area, but what my timber cutting rights grants me is for poplar here, so I'm after the white poplar. Unfortunately, this is not a very clean cutting area, as would be in some other areas where some of you folks that are cutting out in the eastern US in the hardwood forestry, you guys have some pretty clean ground to work on. There's not a whole lot of brush from what I can see from what a lot of areas where guys are working here. This is typical of what we get here. A lot of scrub brush in here. It's tough going. Normally what I do is just drop trees and then pull them ahead to a main. You'll make a skid trail through an area where you have a bunch of timber, like in here. You can see I sort of have opened up a bit of a skid trail starting in here already, and then what you do is just pull it up into there and then top them out, and then go make a half moon circle and then come back, and depends whichever direction you want to orient your wood, where the majority of your wood is. Here it's in behind the landing and around over here, so what will happen is I'll be dropping wood kind of in that direction, and then making a half crescent or a half moon, and then coming into the landing and dropping the butts facing the camera here. And then of course you pile it up with the skidder, and then even up your butt ends, and then you buck to length. That's how we do it here. But anyways, I'm going to set the camera up here. We're going to get some cutting done, and also I'm going to show you a new forestry safety helmet here, chainsaw hard hat, whatever you want to call it. I'll go ahead and set you folks up here on a tripod here so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'll show you the helmet I got here. So anyways, the helmet here that I went ahead and got myself is one of these Husqvarna. It's not their cheapest helmet. I think they call their technical forestry helmet or something like that. It's kind of their second line or middle line. Lots of guys in the forest industry wear these. They're they're actually a pretty decent helmet. I've worn it a couple times already, and I do like it. It's fairly comfortable compared to some of the other helmets that I've tried out there. We each have our own preferences and what we like and what fits our individuals. I mean, everybody's got different shaped heads, and well, to find sometimes a helmet that you like can be a bit of a trying experience. So this one so far, like I say, I like it. It fits me really well, even wearing a toque, because here in the wintertime you can't just wear a helmet with no an open helmet with no liner of any kind. They do have helmet liners, and in the past some of them were so god awful that's why a lot of guys ended up not wearing helmets, because they were more of a hindrance than they were of a help. So, but no excuse though. Person should be wearing when you're doing this kind of stuff, especially if you're doing any kind of contract logging. or cutting on public lands where you have foresters or safety officials coming and checking on you. If you're working for somebody, then you have no choice. You have workers' compensation kicks in type of things, so you have to have these helmets. So, and even if you're cutting on your own property as a weekend firewood cutter, it's best to run a helmet. I know I'm a bad example. A lot of my past videos, you see me running around on my farmland cutting firewood and no noggin protection, which wasn't smart. My old helmet system I had before, accidentally I had it sitting on the skidder on the control lever, and it tumbled off when I was backing up looking on the other side, and I backed over it, but it wasn't much of a helmet anymore, and it probably really wouldn't have done much to protect me if I would have took a hit. So, but anyways, got the new helmet. I do have a new pair of saw pants, but I won't be showing those today because I have them underneath my other bib overalls here that I wear, because it is still cold out and it's not very pleasant. But as the spring warms up, I'll show you those as well. They're also a Husqvarna brand. They're one of their technical chainsaw safety pants. They are a nice pair of pants. They fit almost like a regular pair of jeans, so very comfortable, and I do like them as well. So anyways, I'm now safetied out, or safetied in, whatever you want to call it. So anyways, so I'm going to get to it. We're going to be running a couple saws here today. Well, one at least anyways. I don't know if I'll get around to running the second one, but like I say, I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of these trees here, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I got to get them down, get them topped, and start laying out or placing the lay of the landing how I want to. Well, the first few trees is where you set up is makes or breaks your landing as far as what you're going to be doing for the rest of the course you're cutting in an area. So if you set it up poorly, you're going to be fighting it the rest of the time that you're working in the area, depending where your skid trails come into and things like that. So anyways, enough blabbering. I'm going to get on to it. I'm going to set up a camera, or maybe even two here. I got trying out a little action cam here, so maybe I can get you folks right close to the action, right on the stump with the saw when I'm cutting, if I'm lucky. But we'll see how it works out. But anyways, we'll get you folks set up here, and we're going to make some noise. Just going to show you a comparison here, what some of the size of the wood we have here, what we're cutting here. The old pickup here parked next to a corner of a bluff here that I'm going to be cutting. It varies, like I say, this stuff here, some of it is 8-10 inch up to 12-14 inch. And this stuff here for our area here is pretty long and tall. It's long skinny whips, but it does add up on the piles. So just to give you a bit of an idea. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop a tree here. Running that old 365 Husqvarna there, the rust bucket there. If you hear some weird screeching sound coming from it there, it's I got a stupid clutch spring or whatever, for whatever reason, keeps walking out a little bit. The tension is lost. It's lost some of the tension on that spring, and it's not. I'm gonna have to go ahead and put a new set of clutch springs in there. So one of the problems you run into with running these old saws when you're fixing them up, but I mean, it works good. It doesn't give me issue otherwise. Just the odd time it makes a little screech there, and that's that. I figured it out. It's that dumb clutch spring that's. It comes out a little bit and touches the clutch drum and makes a squeak when it's idling there. When you're cutting, of course, it's fine because it's engaged, but otherwise it makes a funky little squeak or whatever. So just does it once in a while, but irritating anyways, makes you jump when it does it. But anyways, we're going to get on with it here, and that tree that I'm going to drop here right now here's got a very heavy forward lean, so I got to be mindful of that sucker. When I cut the back cut, throw it in there, I'm going to have to really go and chase the fiber, or it's too small to really do a bore cut on it. But anyways, that's a prime candidate for a barber chair and a poplar. That's the kind of stuff you run into. So if it does decide to do something funky, I've got plenty of leeway to exit stage left, so to speak. So anyways, we'll get right at it. Enough yakking. Well, anyways, you get the idea of what I'm doing here. That's that tree there's don't look like it, but when you're right on the stump, it's about 22 inch, something like that. The little 16-inch bar on the old 365 there. Normally that's what we run here for years, what we cut with, but that saw's got that West Coast dog on it the guy put on there before he sold it to me, and that doesn't work with short bars in our area here, or not for the kind of wood we cut. Yeah, anyways, you can see here, the camera doesn't really pick it up or whatever, but that's a pretty good sized tree for what, for our area here. Close to 2 feet on the stump here, right at the butt. That tapers off pretty quick, mind you, and it's got a big ugly fork in it there, so I'm gonna burn 1/3 of a tank of gas just breaking that piece of crap down, but well, that's what we got here, and that's what we got to work with. This is an over mature tree here that's got old fire scars in it, and it's got all kinds of black scald on it, and mushrooms, and you name it. It's conch, or whatever you want to call it. Another pretty good sized one right there. I gotta just throw it across the road there and dump the top on the other side, and cut that top out of it and just leave that there. And I gotta get these get the old international pay logger going here, and then grapple these trees up, pull them forward here, and then kind of just lay them in here and buck them up and continue on. And that's what you do, tree after tree after tree, or skid after skid. So that's typical of what most logging operations used to be, and what I still do here. So anyways, we'll get you folks set up here again when I get ready to drop this other one here. Yeah, like I say here, that these big spikes here, that bottom the bottom tooth on that spike, it likes to dig in or grabs, and then it jams the saw. So those aggressive spikes are good if you've got a long bar and you're with a skip chain, and you're trying to you got to leverage your saw into the cut, or you got a dull chain. You got a really sharp chain and a short bar. These aren't very good. They fight you like a bugger. That's why the factory a lot of times just uses the crappy small bucking spikes that they do on them, because they're generally set up for like 18-inch bars from the factory. That's kind of how they design them. This is a 16. I do have an 18. I'll probably put it on there. I might have an actual 20 or 22 somewhere in my collection, but other than for a tree like this, that's the only place where I'd need it. And even then, I still able to cut it to get it down safely on the ground. I'll need to retrim these stumps, because I'll probably be swinging the tree top a little bit past here. This one might be fine, it might be able to stay. That one there I might have to retrim, because I'll have trucks coming in. They'll be going down over here around the corner, turning around at another turnaround landing, and then coming back over here onto the edge of the landing. That's where how they'll be loading, and that's going to be, should be out of the way, but I'm going to trim that stump down, because the trailer might cut in when they come around the corner to swing into the landing here when they're loading. But anyways,